You open your eyes to the glow of flames. Sparks drift through the air like falling stars, and somewhere above the roar of the inferno, a single voice sings. It is not a cry for help, it is a performance. Rome had survived Tiberius, the emperor who trusted no one. It endured Caligula, the ruler whose madness drowned the empire in terror. But this was different. This was the story of the emperor who burned his own capital. For art, long before the fire, Nero was seen as Rome's golden child. Handsome, charming, and adored by crowds, he was a boy who loved music more than politics, and the stage more than the Senate. His mother, Agrippina, shaped him like a sculptor shapes marble. She chose his tutors, his allies, and his destiny. Every night, she whispered the same promise into his ear, "You will be emperor," and she delivered. When Emperor Claudius died under suspicious circumstances, Nero, at only 16 years old, took the throne of the largest empire on earth. Rome celebrated. A new era seemed to begin, peaceful, artistic, youthful. But something was hiding behind Nero's smile. It wasn't just cruelty, and it wasn't just madness. It was an obsession. Nero didn't want to rule. He wanted to be adored, the way a musician is adored by his audience. He forced senators, generals, and even old aristocrats to attend his performances. They would sit for hours, sweating in heavy robes, clapping until their hands shook. Anyone who dared to leave early faced execution. Rome realized with terror that they didn't just have an emperor. They had a performer with absolute power, and every performance needs a stage. Every stage needs an audience, and every audience needed to obey. Nero believed he was the greatest artist Rome had ever produced, and he would kill anyone who interrupted his spotlight. But there was one person Nero could not silence: Agrippina. The woman who built him, the mother who crafted his destiny. She wanted control, she wanted power, but Nero wanted freedom, the freedom to remake Rome in his own artistic image. Their conflict tore the palace apart. Soon, Nero made a decision that stunned even ancient historians. He ordered her assassination. First, he tried a collapsing boat designed to drown her. When she miraculously survived, he sent soldiers to finish the job. When Rome heard the news, people spoke in hushed voices, asking, if Nero can kill his own mother, who is safe? After Agrippina's death, Nero drifted deeper into fantasy. He executed advisors who questioned him and banished rivals who challenged him. He even killed his own wife in a fit of rage. The empire decayed while its emperor rehearsed performances, practiced poetry, and staged dramatic competitions that lasted for days. Soldiers lost their discipline, the treasury emptied. Rebellions began to simmer across the provinces, yet Nero didn't seem to care. The empire was crumbling, but he saw only one thing: a world that had failed to understand his genius. Then came the night that changed everything. A fire ignited near the Circus Maximus. Strong wine spread it through the city's crowded, wooden streets like a wave of flame. For 9 long days, Rome burned. Ancient temples collapsed, homes vanished into smoke. Entire districts turned to ash. Some historical accounts claimed Nero was away from the city. Others claimed he ordered the fire himself. But every ancient source agreed on one haunting detail: Nero stood above the flames. Playing his lyre, he didn't see tragedy. He saw a stage, a canvas, a masterpiece waiting to be reborn. When the fire finally died down, Nero unveiled his grand plan: a new Rome, a Rome designed for him. At its center would be a palace of impossible size, the Domus Aurea, the Golden House, on the very land where thousands of citizens had lost everything. Nero built a paradise of marble, gold, and magnificent fountains. But whispers began to spread. The people blamed Nero for the fire. Rumors crawled through the scorched streets like smoke. So, he found someone else to blame: a small, strange religious group, the Christians. To protect himself, Nero unleashed one of the most brutal persecutions in history. Executions in the arena, public burnings, and horrific tortures were all staged like theatrical spectacles. The message was clear: Nero was not responsible. Someone else had to suffer. But fear only lasts so long. The Senate finally turned against him. The army refused to defend him. Even his supporters abandoned the emperor, who wanted applause more than justice. Cornered, with conspiracies closing in from all sides, Nero fled the palace. He died alone, terrified, shaking, and unsure of his own legacy. His final words echoed the delusion that defined his life. What an artist dies in me. With Nero's death, the dynasty of Augustus collapsed. Rome stood on a knife's edge, leaderless, unstable, and boiling with ambition. And in the chaos that followed, for men would fight for the throne, each more desperate than the last. Join us for the next episode, The Year of the Four Emperors, Rome's bloodiest power struggle. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more.